Beautiful. Here we are at Bristol Craft Beer Festival Friday night, talking about the Rhone series. Clem, how did we come up with this beautiful Rhone series?
It's a good question. We did a lot of series based on hops, and there was a real focus on where things were born, where they went to. So this one is all about expanding those horizons a bit, bringing yeast into it, but also just being excited about European styles again, and a few which haven't been around very much recently. So yeah, that's where honestly it was born from.
Absolutely, completely agree.
And what excited you about it, out of interest?
Yeah, absolutely. It's for me, there's 4 ingredients in beer. It's not always about the hops. There's water, there's yeast, and of course there's malted barley or wheat. So yeah, for exploring across Europe, we're definitely looking at more at the yeast cultures out there and variants and beer styles. That was a great part for me.
For sure, I totally agree. Personal highlights for me was actually starting off with the Lose Yourself to Paris, which I've got here, but Brut IPA. Not champagne yeast, common misconception.
Very misconception.
As I was also misconceived by. But dry, crisp, big hops to follow that up, which you then sort of, without that sweetness, you get full hop from it, is what I found.
Yeah, a style which sort of had a bit of a flash in the pan, I think in around about 2017, 2018, didn't really take off. So it was great for us to attempt one, see what we could do.
It's boozy as well.
It's boozy.
It's a personal highlight for you?
Personal highlight for me, probably be the Dunkel. You know, it took us 5 weeks from brew day to package, longest beer ever brewed. And yeah, it's come up incredible.
Yeah, it's a dark
Absolutely
colour as well. It's got that real sort of roasted feel to it.
It's chestnutty, yeah, absolutely. When we wanted to find out a bit more about the Dunkels, we went to the old bookshop, me and the other brewers, and we drank about 4, 5, 6 of them, and we were actually surprised of how much lighter they were in colour. We thought they were a bit darker. Actually, for us, they were just a bit darker than a Fortitude.
Yeah, nice. It's not going to be that sort of like black darkness. It's more like the caramel side of malt.
Yeah, a slight bit of toffee, and a nice bit of Moorish and finish
quality.
to it.
The casks are worth a mention as well. Trailbreaker.
Probably the juiciest beer BBF have ever done, I would say, on cask, keg, can, bottle, any format.
A Norwegian yeast, right?
Correct, Kviek. That yeast gave a lot of fruit character, fruit aroma.
It kicks off early in the flavour, because that's what we've always found with our European beers, from Belgian to Kviek. It's like the yeast hits hard early, and then you follow up with like the rest of the citrus feel.
Exactly. The aroma hits you. Obviously, you're going to always smell a beer before you taste it. Absolutely. We're able to ferment it at really high temperatures, around about 34 degrees centigrade, and that's what creates those higher aromas and flavours.
Yeah. It was the best feedback I think we've ever got on a cask, genuinely, hands down. And that led into Vienna Pale, Vienna Emotion, and then onto a Saison as well in cask. So
yeah, let's take it back to that Vienna Emotion. The beer style was sort of it was derived from a Vienna lager, but we wanted to put our BBF twist on it and make it into a cask. So it was around about 90% Vienna malt,
which is a huge amount, right? When you do MPG, when you do your sort of malt bill, that's a big.
Yeah, absolutely. That would look great in the optics. And then we paired it with some beautiful noble hops.
And the Saison Encore.
Saison Encore.
We've always had a good relationship with Belgian beers.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like we needed a Belgian on the stops of the Rhone tour.
Yes, we love our Belgians in Bristol Beer Factory. Doing a Saison, it's a bit of a gamble, some might say, especially on cask. Time of year, I think it did fit. And we used the Belle Saison yeast from Lallemand. That yeast gave you some lovely characters. First aroma hits you as a Saison, then actually finished with a lot of phenolics, like a wheat beer might would. That was very fruity.
Talk to me about Pilsner, if that's all right.
Yeah, Pilsner derives from Czech Republic. What is a Pilsner? It's a lager, but it's got more bitterness, more hop character flavour. It's probably more higher ABV as well to it. Sure.
So you took this right back to Czechia, right, with the yeast?
Yep, so I wanted to do it as authentic as possible, and reason being, what I did with that then was the yeast. I always take it back to the yeast. I just phoned up my yeast man, and he sent me down a wet mix of a Czech yeast, which I used from fresh, and it was incredible. Perfect fermentation at around about 13 degrees centigrade, 3 weeks at fermentation.
Give it time.
Give it time.
Give it time.
Yeah, and the product came out. It's absolutely booming, crystal clear, like a Pilsner should be. Great aroma to it. Very much like a Budvar. Love Budvar, and that is the biggest one in Czech.
Quality. I think what a series is the best way to sum it up. But what I really liked about it was the journey around Europe and stopping off in 6 different countries and really exploring those yeasts, and also just not just yeast, but everything that comes with that style of beer.
Absolutely, yeah. Very different to what we do over here in Britain.
Yeah.
And we were able to also, of course, put our own BBF stamp on, which is also one thing to do.
No, it felt good. Felt good to do a series like this again. The brewery was ready for it. I think those factory walls were ready for an exciting
journey. It's been a long time, and it was great. It was a big series as well, 6 beers.
Yeah.
And for me,
Cask can kegs, first time ever. So hopefully that'll really give it the platform for people to try these beers, understand more about the styles as well, because we always love to do that.
Definitely.
Yeah, good job.
Cheers, bro.
Cheers, bro.